Hitch Gets Fluffed by Nailah. The Only Chapter. The bunnies surrounded Hitch, every one of them lifting their front paws up into the air. They seemed to just stand still in a circle while waving their limbs back and forth wildly. What the... Hitch looked all around. Everywhere he looked, more bunnies stood surrounding him on all sides. He could just jump over them, but would that be rude? Why was he so worried about offending little cotton fluff balls? Before he could even consider his line of action, he felt the white fur of the bunnies underneath him, and suddenly he was being lifted into the air, and the bunnies started to carry him off. "Hey, wait, what are you little bunnies doing?" he asked, while remaining calm. Wouldn't be the first time he had crazy fans trying to kidnap him, but it was the first time animals were doing it. He wasn't sure whether to laugh, be scared, or just impressed they could lift him like this. After all, he did have a whole dozen donuts from the bakery this morning.
Squeak!
The rabbits all replied in unison as they carried him to who knew where.
"Listen, I know you all really like me. I still don't know why. But could you let me down?"
Hitch swallowed a nervous gulp. How the heck was he gonna get out of this situation without accidentally hurting a cute, innocent little creature? The bunnies kept marching forward, each one carrying their own weight as they brought Hitch to this inner part of a nearby wood area near their home. The bunnies finally let Hitch down in the center, and 3 of the bunnies used themselves as a makeshift ladder to put a lei around his neck, and then they retreated back down to the ground. All the bunnies in unison bowed down before him.
"Huh?"
asked Hitch, tilting his head toward the center of the group. Reaching up to scratch the back of his ear, he tried to process everything that had just happened.
"Okay, so let me get this straight. All adore me, that much I get."
Hitch paused in thought.
I mean, I know I'm pretty handsome and all that, but bunnies? Really? But the whole worship thing that you are doing now? I don't get it. Can one of you be so kind as to explain? I do know, at least try?"
asked Hitch, turning his head from one side to the other, trying to observe if there was any space between any of the bunnies that he might be able to use later. As the bunnies were all huddled fur to fur, that it would be impossible. He really didn't want to risk just jumping over them, because if any of them tried to stop him, he'd end up hurting them. As a sheriff of Maritime Bay, it was his duty to protect everyone who lived there, citizens and critters alike. The bunnies blinked and then proceeded to clap their paws together. Big goofy grins plastered over their faces as they started hopping in place.
"Squeak, squeak, squeak, squeak!"
The bunnies began to declare in harmony, each bunny adding something to the pitch and their back hind legs thumping on the ground, almost like a drum to add to the rhythm of their singing. Hitch sighed heavily. How the heck was he gonna get through these critters? Did they really think he was some kind of deity? Was it his badge?
"Listen up now, I'm nothing special,"
Hitch began.
"I'm just the sheriff of Maritime Bay. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm certainly not worthy of this sort of attention. Can you all please stop acting like I'm some kind of god?"
The bunnies all looked at him, stopping their singing and just seemed to glare right into his soul. Then they started hopping rapidly in place, almost like they were in denial of his claim.
"Squeak!"
they shouted at Hitch in unison. Hitch sighed, lowering his head ever so slightly. Then he tilted his head all the way back and cracked his neck with a loud pop. Every bunny he could see had their long ears jolt up at once, each looking from left to right, right to left. It was almost as if the pop had triggered something in their defense.
"Hey now, little ones. It's okay, little ones. I just got a crick in my neck. It's nothing to be alarmed by,"
Hitch explained, pointing to his neck and trying to demonstrate to the bunnies that the sound had come from him. But this time his neck didn't want to pop again. The bunnies blinked and just stared at him more. Hitch wasn't even sure how long they just lingered their gaze on him, before they went back to cheering and dancing. They hopped up and down while clapping their little paws together and moving around in a circle all at once.
Okay, that was a quick shift,
Hitch stated calmly. He scratched underneath his chin, trying to think. If these bunnies truly worshipped him, how could he use that to obtain his freedom without any accidents?
Alright, my little bunnies, it's time for Hitch to get back to work,
Hitch began, pausing as he held a hoof against his badge to make it shine against the light of the sun as it shined down onto him. The light illuminated him and made him stand out against the dark grays and greens of the forest around him. All of the bunnies stood at attention, each one staring at him and seeming to just squeak all at once. All in harmony.
Squeak!
The bunnies shouted and cheered, all prancing and dancing and singing. Hitch sighed heavily and hoof-palmed.
What have I gotten myself into?
Listen, I really need to get back home.
What if someone is in danger and I'm not there?
I admire you all, but I need to go home. Please? Hitch begged, giving the bunnies his best puppy dog face. All the bunnies turned their attention to his eyes, and then suddenly they make a path between them. Rows of bunnies to each side of him, starting to make a line towards Maritime Bay. Sighing heavily and lightly patting his badge, he looked to his admirers and smiled brightly.
Why, thank you kindly. I do promise I will come and visit you often. Perhaps even bring you some fresh carrots and other amenities. Now, if that's all, I must return to Maritime Bay, and I must protect my fellow ponies and my fellow critters as well. Truly, I will miss you all. Be safe and remember to love one another.
With that, Hitch began to make his way home. Sonny was never gonna believe what had just happened. He sighed to himself. Then again, knowing that filly, maybe she just might.
Hello once again, every ponies. This is once again Visual Pony with the comment time, and I will remind you that you can support Pony&Wolf Productions through the links down in the description below. There are one-time donation links, a merch store, Patreons, and don't forget, here on YouTube you can become a channel member. And with this, you can support Pony&Wolf Production and keep the lights on around here. It would be very much appreciated. And now let me get into the meat of the story. Okay. It is once again one of those stories that I didn't review before I read it. There are a few mistakes in here. You can look at me recording it on my recording day video from the 3rd of October 2021, because that's today's date. But holy shit! I mean, this is let me just read the author's notes for you. I think that says it all. This is a silly story and it has no purpose. It just came to my mind that no one had done the idea of Hitch being worshipped as some kind of god/deity by the animals. And the bunnies seemed like a good candidate for the idea. So I just went for it. It's a cute little one-shot, and no, I don't plan to It's a cute little one-shot, and no, I don't have plans to extend this or make a sequel. I have a much more serious G5 fix that I'm outlining, but ideas come, and this just came out in a night. So here you go, enjoy. I hope you all like my silliness. Yes, Nailah, we love your silliness. At least I do. We have read stories from Nailah on this channel before, and she is a very talented author. She has a Ko-fi, where you can donate $3 or whatever. So go ahead, have a look at her page. She's amazing. Really, she is. Her stuff, everything I've read from Nailah so far has been really good. I enjoy her content, and I'm looking forward to see more from her. Sincerely yours, Visual Pony, and now I'm signing off and hope that the story finds you well in body and mind.